Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jamie Wolfer and this is my lifestyle channel. I actually have a second channel, or like a main channel here on YouTube where I do wedding planning videos, but I became so obsessed with the process that I thought, let's start a second channel because I just don't have enough going on in my life. It has been a hot minute since I filmed for this channel. I did Vlogmas and it was really fun, but it was really tiring, so I took a little bit of time off. And one thing that you guys requested quite a bit in like the comments of my Vlogmas videos was plant videos, which of course I'm like super happy to oblige because if you can't tell, I'm obsessed with plants. Houseplants are my jam, and while I don't always know what I'm doing with plants, I seem to have found a rhythm with them and I don't kill too many, so like that's a good thing. I think. There's still some that like I'm struggling with. But I thought it'd be a really fun idea to put together my top 10 houseplants for 2018. I have a lot of plants. Like clearly there's a lot in the shop, but like I have a lot. I think we're over 250 right now. That's embarrassing to admit out loud to the internet, but it's true. So these plants are in no particular order because there's no way that I could pick a favorite at all. Like I'm just incapable of picking my favorite houseplant. There are just so many that I really, really like and that I'm obsessed with. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it, shall we? So the first plant that we're going to talk about is the string of hearts, or Ceropegia woodii, I think is how you pronounce it. If I know scientific names, I'll share them. If I don't, then just, you know, we'll just move along, okay? Like, so I'll share them if I know them, or I'll put them on the screen if I can. That might be good, so I can research it afterwards and not be put on the spot. That sounds great. I like that plan. This one is actually a one that I propagated from the mother plant, and it seems to be doing super well so far. I just put it in soil like last week though, so fingers crossed this goes successfully. And I grabbed this one because all of the other ones that I have are pretty long, and these get tangled so easily, so I was not gonna move those. Those are staying exactly where they're at. We're not moving them. So I figured I'd bring down this little guy. I have more of this one propagating right now in water and then hope to transfer that over to soil soon. But the reason that I love this one is it's just so striking. It has these little heart-shaped leaves and they're so sweet. It's also known as the rosary vine. And I just like it because it looks so different from like 90% of the plants that I have, which is saying something because I have a lot of plants. The unique texture and how dainty it is and how fast they grow, these are such fast growers for me. I'm amazed. I do have one that's only gets like northern window exposure, and it's not growing as fast as the other ones that are near south or west facing windows, so I'm probably gonna move that one. But I just love how dainty it is. I love the sweet little heart-shaped leaves. I love its variegation. There's a variegated version of this as well, and that one has like white and pink to it. And that one's growing a lot more slowly than the rest of them are, but I couldn't do a favorite houseplants video without throwing this little guy in there. He's just real cute. He doesn't require a lot of watering, especially during winter time. Their roots come out of these like tubers. It's like a ball that basically holds a bunch of water. That's the technical term for it. I know, you're very impressed by my knowledge right now. So they're pretty darn low maintenance, and that for me is a must because I run my own business and I have children and I have pets, so easy low maintenance houseplants are primo for me. I mean, if they're difficult, I tend to have a hard time with them and they don't last in my house, so this one definitely makes the top 10 list this year. The next plant on my list would have to be the Philodendron hederaceum, or the heart-shaped philodendron. I actually don't know the common name of this one, and that is like this one right here. I'm not gonna get him down because he's really big and really heavy, and it took me like 3 minutes to hang him up here on this ladder. And this one happens to be the Brazil variety, which means it has like a strip of yellow down the center of the leaf, which is really pretty, but I also have just the plain green one. They are such fast growers. I think I'm drawn to fast growers. Anything that grows really slow, I'm like, you're boring. So I love these. I have several of them hanging in my home. The one that does the best is actually right here off camera, and I'll show you guys in just a little bit. And it is, I don't know, 3 feet away from a south-facing window and 1.5 feet away from an east-facing window, so it gets plenty of light. In fact, I would say it does get some direct sunlight. I keep these blinds open in this room. I have a bunch of plants in here, and that one I have cut back 3 times in the last 2 months. I mean, it's winter and that thing is still growing, so I really do enjoy this plant. It's really rewarding to have, and I just love the heart-shaped leaves, and I love that it's really easy to care for. The next plant on my list, this one I feel like I won the freaking lottery because I figured these out. This is probably the smallest of the ones that I have. This is a Boston fern, and I know this is a total throwback. Like, this is classic 1970s houseplants. But ever since I figured these out, I'm obsessed with them. Like, straight up obsessed with them. And to be honest, I don't know how I figured them out. Basically, I learned they like their soil to stay moist. They don't want to dry out. They love to be in humid environments. I have 3 in my bathroom upstairs. This is one from my bathroom. And I have one that actually sits under our water dispenser because my kids are a hot mess when it comes to hydrating. So they end up spilling water all over the floor. So I stuck a fern under there because ferns love water. And it seems to be doing really well. So they like humid locations. The one under the water dispenser obviously gets a lot of water because my kids hydrate often, and it's also grouped next to a couple other plants, which helps to promote humidity. And then obviously the ones in my bathroom get a lot of humidity because it's a bathroom. We shower and bathe in there. So I feel like I hit the lottery by cracking the code on these things, and I wish I had more plant tips for you for this one. Just keep it humid, make sure the soil doesn't dry out, and all of mine get really bright light. So I think that's a key too. Like, if I put them in a darker area, I don't think they'd do as well. But I couldn't do a top 10 list without this one that I finally figured out this year. So huzzah to me, right? And this one is in like a cute little, it's actually a vintage champagne bucket. Because why not? I'm literally in a jungle right now, and I'm the happiest person on the planet. I'm surrounded by plants. The next one on my list would have to be this one right here, the Monstera adansonii. This is definitely a top pick for houseplant collectors. I'm gonna be honest, I've not figured this one out yet. We're still struggling our way through this. As you can see, quite a few of these have yellow tips, which is usually a sign of overwatering. I'm trying to figure out the balance with this one, but I couldn't do a top 10 list without this because I just love these leaves. They're just so charming to me, and I hope that this guy and I will get along in 2019. And I did split him a couple months ago, so I went from having one to now I have 2 of them. And they're both really close to south-facing windows, so they get pretty bright indirect light. So I think it's just the watering process I need to figure this out. Maybe I need to swap around the soil, get something that's a little better draining. I'm not entirely sure. He's so cute, even though he hates me. He does. Look at that. But look at these leaves. Like, how cool is that? You just don't see that in a lot of houseplants. But he does have some new growth coming in, which, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, does not come out yellow, because I don't know what I'm doing with him. The next plant on my list, if you guys have been around for a while, then you know that I have quite a few of these, and I did like a propagation and tips video like late last year, and I also split one of my plants during Vlogmas, and that is the Peperomia. Wow, I said it first try, nailed it. I know, you guys are probably sick of seeing these. If you're a subscriber here, then you know that, like, clearly I have feelings about this plant. And they are probably one of the most popular houseplants in the world of 2018. And I'm still not over it. I'm not. I'm gonna be basic. I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon. And I'm gonna love these for a really, really long time. I think probably one of the reasons I love these the most is all of the pups they push out. I think we're now up to like 10 or 11 pups that I've propagated from this, which I showed in the propagation video. I will link that up here if you haven't seen it. It's just so rewarding to watch something grow and thrive and keep pushing up new babies that I can then put into water and then transplant into soil, and then they grow into a whole new plant, which is probably honestly why my houseplant collection has such a high number, is mostly just because Pelia babies. Recently the leaves have started to curl because wintertime, like, watering needs are different, so because I'm newer to this plant, I'm still figuring it out. But it's just such a different, unique shape compared to most of my other plants. I'd say like 60–70% of what I have are aroids, so this one is definitely a unique challenge. It's different from what I normally do, and it provides a different shape and different texture to all the other plants that I have hanging out. Next on my list would be the China doll tree. This one you actually don't see a whole lot of people with, at least I don't, and I don't know why. These are such cute little plants. I have 5 of them, so there's that. I like these guys because they're kind of finicky, to be honest. Like, I'm scared because I moved this one from its location for this video, and I'm gonna go put it back right afterwards, but I'm scared he's gonna be like, screw you, and drop a bunch of leaves. But the nice part is they're really, really forgiving. In fact, I have one that I've been battling mealybugs on this thing for like 6 months, and it keeps pushing out new growth all the time. So while it's looking a lot scragglier than it was when I first got it, it keeps going and going. So they are temperamental. They don't like to be moved. They don't like lighting changes. They don't like drafts. They don't like their soil to dry out. They're definitely one of my more needy houseplants, but I think they should be on a lot more top 10 lists because they're so cute. They remind me a lot of ferns without being as difficult as ferns. Like, I know I just listed all the reasons that this is a difficult plant, but they're not as difficult as ferns. So I definitely had to include this in my top 10, and please don't hate me for moving you, okay? So like, I'm gonna put you back and you're gonna need to chill. Don't get mad. Don't get mad, I love you. Next on my list, such a bandwagoner, y'all. If you follow houseplant communities, then you know that this is like one of the unicorns of the past year or so, and this is a pink princess philodendron. Why do I love it? Look at it. I mean, look at it. How could you not love something like this? I had wanted one of these for so long, so I finally bit the bullet. And I paid an ungodly sum for it. Actually, I got two, let's be honest. I ended up getting two of them. But I just love that it's different, again, from so many plants. I like unique qualities in a handful of plants to add variety to what I look at every single day. And I find this one to be extremely rewarding. I got this from Gabriella Plants. They're an online store. I purchased this one particularly through their Etsy shop. And it has pushed up this new leaf, and with more light, it gets more variegation. So clearly it's happy with where it's at, although this leaf is a little smaller than the others. So again, working on cracking the code of this guy, but he seems to be super happy on my kitchen counter, surrounded by a bunch of other plants. And I love you. You're very cute. Let's be friends for a very long time. Like I said earlier, I do have a thing for aroids, and philodendron is one of those. It's within that family. So I hope to see a lot new growth off of this baby in 2019. You hear me? Lots of growth, okay? Let's do this together. Next on my list would be the Scindapsus pictus. Now this particular plant is brand new to me. I just got it from the sill. And there are two different varieties of this. There's the Argyrius and the exotica. So the Argyrius has more of like a freckling, and the exotica has a lot more silver to it. Again, it's in the aroid family. That means it's similar to the philodendrons or like pothos or things like that. I find these extremely easy to care for. They let me know when they need to be watered. The leaves will curl up a little bit and they're like, hey, I need some help. So I love a good communicative plant. I just like that they're different, which I'm sure you're sensing a theme here. I like weird plants. Weird plants are cool. They're nice to mix in with normal plants. These will grow to be trailing plants really well, or they also climb in their natural environment, so I'm hoping that we get some legs on this bad boy pretty soon. Oh, let me show you, I have the other variety of it right here. So this is the other variety of the Scindapsus pictus. I think this is the Argyrius. I'm probably totally butchering that name, so be kind to me. But this one, as you can see, has more freckles of the silver, whereas this one almost seems like mostly silver with a little bit of green. So they're the same plant. I think this one needs to be watered. The leaves are looking a little curly. Let me test it. Yeah, this one needs to be watered. I'll water him as soon as we're done with this video. Don't die. But as you can see, it trails really beautifully, and I love having a mixture of upright plants and trailing plants kind of all smooshed together. Really communicative, really easy to take care of. Likes bright indirect light, which like everyone says about all the plants, so that was extremely helpful, I'm sure. And I hope to see this one turn into a nice little leggy babe like this. Okay, maybe not this leggy. This obviously needs more sunlight because there's big space between some of those leaves. We'll figure it out, I think. The next plant on my list is, again, relatively new to my collection. I got this one from Josh's Frogs, and it is so cute. So cute. It's called a string of turtles, or Peperomia prostrata. But again, love me something that's trailing because it's just so rewarding to watch these grow longer. And these little leaves have this super cute, let me see if we can get it to focus, this super cute pattern to them. They remind me of, oh gosh, what are those cookies that like you sprinkle stuff on top of and then they crack and then you can see like, whatever, do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, but they remind me of those cookies. They also look a lot like a turtle shell. This one, since it is newer to me, I'm still kind of figuring out its watering needs. But since it's a peperomia, I know that their vines can rot really easily, so I'm careful about watering him. They do store water in these leaves. Again, it's another really communicative plant. It'll tell you when it needs water because these leaves will not look as succulent as they currently do. So I don't know if you can tell how thick that is. But it was recently watered, so they're nice and juicy, kind of like a succulent. but succulents I can't figure out. I have a hard time with succulents. They don't need enough water. I need something that needs more from me. So hopefully this one will get fuller, because it's definitely only growing on one side. I may loop this around so it'll like fill in the soil and then hopefully put down roots on the back side of the pot. This is definitely one of my top faves for 2018 for sure. And then my last plant for this top 10 of 2018 is basic AF. All right? We've clearly figured out from this video that I'm a bandwagoner when it comes to plant selection, but I am so thrilled with this plant. It is that guy right here, Monstera deliciosa. I just love the bold impact that the leaves make. I'd pick it up, but it's kind of heavy and it was a lot to like get it into this spot, so we're not moving it, okay? You're just gonna have to like pretend like it's closer to the camera than it actually is. As these leaves grow and as it matures, they actually get more fenestrations? Is that what it's called? I think. More splits and holes in the leaves, which is a really, really rewarding process to witness. I also have 2 juvenile ones, or like baby ones, that have leaves with no holes in them, so I hope to see a lot more growth in those in 2019. But it wouldn't be a plant favorites video if I didn't include that. I do have quite a few of them. I was really silly when I first got them, I'm gonna be honest. And looked at the pot and was like, there's so many stems in here. Stems may not be the appropriate scientific term for that particular plant, but whatever, bear with me. And I was like, I should split it. That's a great idea. I could make more plants. But then I ended up getting this like really one long leggy bit coming out of it. And so I've actually gone ahead and cut up a few pieces, propagated them in water, and now have stuck some down at the bottom of the soil to hopefully help fill out the plant a little bit, because just having like one long stem vine thing with a handful of leaves coming off of it is a lot less attractive than like one big full plant. I'm hoping those will root well in the soil and that I will see a lot bushier plants come the spring and summer, but it definitely would not be a top 10 plant video without that, because it's so cute and it makes such a bold statement. I kind of feel like some of these plants are art pieces, you know? Okay, now I'm getting weird. And of course, I totally bought into the hype. I have a variegated version of this, but it's like super itty bitty and I paid a lot of money for it and it's really tiny, so it's what I get for having an obsession that can be expensive. I spent $35 on something that has 3 leaves and I've not seen any new growth on it yet. Oh well. You live and you learn, right? So that's all we have for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any plant-related questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. I am no expert by any means. I would call myself a hobbyist. I'm really fascinated by plants. I love having them in my home. I think they add such interesting texture. I think they add vibrancy and life. And I think I've actually gotten my husband to appreciate them too, which with over 250 plants, he better learn to appreciate them because they're not going anywhere. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. Subscribe if you're new here. I'd love to have you guys stick around. If you want to see more plant-related videos like a plant tour, hey, they'll probably be 45 minutes long because there's a lot of plants. Let me know in the comments below as well. So happy to be back in 2019. I can't wait to see where this year takes us, y'all. Thanks for being here. And until next week, bye guys.